The world has become too open in order basically successfully to cause for a very long time. But on the other side, the elite should understand that they cannot have the best of everything. If you are not going to convince people that their problem is your problem, in democratic politics you do not have a chance. Unfortunately, at this moment, the only way people are ready to trust these politicians is when they start to confront the outside world.
There is such a level of chaotic development in international affairs that the matter of possible war, not a local war, but much bigger war or chain of local wars, which will constitute a big reshuffle of everything, it's not a theoretical anymore. And I think we cannot expect actors on the international stage just now to be very friendly towards each other. And we cannot even expect a lot of ability to understand each other, unfortunately, not now. But what is especially needed in this situation is to be extremely cautious, both for liberal, illiberal, autocratic, religious, any regimes.
The critical movements in the Turkish electoral scene is mobilized on the basis of nationalist sentiment, but primarily with security concerns. It's very difficult to bridge the gap between those two groups, the conservative Kurds and the nationalist Turks, and the rest of the country, on the basis of anything other than security concern. Whatever force that is not part of the ruling government cannot find any support from the global environment for their cause of opposing the government or formulating an alternative platform.
Because of the large number of people who are accessing information via social media, via smartphone, there is a market actually for quote independent journalists or small independent media. All right. There are certain areas you don't want to touch. For instance, high politics, issues of Tibet, Xinjiang, or they're taboo topics. But you will stay away from those. There are journals in China who can generate income as an independent.
Turkey already has had 2.5 million Syrians. That's almost the official figure. The estimates go all the way up to 3 million people. So effectively speaking, in a country of about 75 million people, you have 5 to 7% of the population now composed of Syrian refugees. In certain border cities, this figure goes all the way up to 20%. This is a huge issue. And the government is using this to keep the Western powers or the EU and the American administration very much cooperating with their policies and looking the other way when it comes to violations of democratic principles within Turkey.
Journalism is being threatened globally, right? And increasingly in our global world, we need to understand and have information about each other, right? We are not living in silos. So that's why I said you need a global response.
In a certain way, what happened with the globalization, that the elites became much more mobile and their dependence on the citizens has been very much reduced. For great reasons. For example, in the Cold War, the Western elites needed their citizens because these citizens are the ones that should defend the West in the case of war. Now you don't have this anymore, to the extent that their war, their professional armies, their drones. When basically comes to the figure of a worker as somebody who is very much important to the elites, business elites and others, this is also very much changed by the mobility. If you don't like how your local workers work, you can go to China and you're going to have a better deal. And this created a huge, very important and very legitimate rejections on the side of the people, because they basically said, in the time of crisis, these elites are not part of us. They have an exit option and we do not have an exit option.
That's about to be very realistic about its own capacities and to try to maximize gains, of course, but to understand very clearly that gains are also limited. You cannot gain anything you want. And this is exactly what was, from my point of view, missing after the Cold War, because one side, the side which lost the Cold War, Russia and those who associated with Russia, they felt depressed, discriminated and very bad, and they tried to compensate it in different forms. And the other side, the side which won, was triumphalistic and really believed that everything was possible. Now it's time to understand that not everything is possible for both sides.
People need to understand, I think also the powers that be, the funders, the rich, need to understand by the end of the day, and informed citizens, informed societies give us a better society.